he just retire?
Oh, yeah.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Salty
Mm,
Tonight,
yeah.
episode number 18. It is June 19th and June
Our show
18th.
is our show is
W-
legal now.
Yep, we're one of the only shows that broadcast on two different time zones at the same time. Terry in Bombay Beach, and I'm in Virginia. And what's going on tonight, Terry?
Not a lot. Just obsessing over Jimothy mostly today.
Now, I had never heard of Jimothy. You showed me Jimothy maybe, 8 minutes ago. And how did you stumble upon Jimothy?
How does anyone stumble upon it? Social media. I think it
Okay.
was Instagram actually was the first time I saw him, and it was yesterday. And then other people are posting videos where they've seen him around, and so I got obsessed with him.
So Jimothy is a raccoon that's made several appearances throughout this neighborhood, correct?
Yeah, he lives in Seattle, in a
Oh,
neighborhood in
he's
Seattle.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's feral, but he's
Okay. Well,
yeah.
show us a little bit of Jimothy there. You got
All right.
a clip
I
queued.
I do have a clip.
Now to a story that has literally everyone in our newsroom talking this morning. A raccoon living in a Seattle neighborhood is garnering millions of views online. So meet Jimothy, a raccoon with a short spine syndrome. A Seattle resident named Kiana took video of this raccoon earlier this week in North Seattle. Take a look at this thing. As of this morning, this has been viewed more than 6 million times on Instagram, 8 million times on TikTok. And it turns out Jimothy is a regular here. He was also captured on a video camera from someone's back porch on Reddit. Among thousands of comments, some users say they have spotted him multiple times in their yard in Ballard. So there you go, Jimothy. He's not the only raccoon gaining national attention. Viral video shows paddleboard boarders rescuing a so-called trash panda earlier this week in Austin. He was caught in the major downpour impacting central Texas. They were able to get him to safety.
Well, that's a cute little story. Jimothy is a cute little raccoon. Now, at first, when you showed me the video before the show, I wasn't for sure what kind of animal that was running like that.
The original video, I think that the lady posted was like, "What am I looking at?" Like,
That's what I thought. I was like, "What is this
yeah,
she's showing me?" But because the sound was off at first, so I didn't hear that he had something wrong with his spine. But he's cute up close.
up close. Yeah, I mean, we all have problems
Yeah.
and disabilities that make us special, and Jimothy is living his best life.
I
So
think I think Jimothy would be a good. I wish we had Jimothy for like a mascot on the show. I think
he
he would.
would.
Yeah.
Yes, I wish I had a raccoon. I mean, they're
I
like eccentric cats, basically.
well, I could see you with the Jimothy as a pet.
Yeah, I would. I would sleep with him. I would take him out on walks.
Would you put him on a leash
I would get one of those things that you wear for babies.
like a papoose or something?
His little long ass arms could stand out. Ride him on my back.
Now, you've
Ride
had
him.
some interesting animals over the years. You've had a couple, just one rat, or have you had two?
I had two.
Okay. And
I had
was it the
Bosco and
long tail,
Marco.
the long tail rat?
Yeah, it was just a rat. He was probably with tail like maybe that big, but his body
Okay.
was like, I mean, he was just a rat. I don't
N-
know how big they get.
No, my friend had a rat, and well, she had two different rats, but at one time, she Binky was her rat, and Binky came to be a part of the family, and I knew Binky for like 2.5, maybe 3 years. And when Binky passed away, he I cried. It made me cry.
Oh,
So every time Binky pops up on my memories on my phone, I shed a little tear for Binky. I'll have to bring a picture of Binky next time.
You get close to them. I mean, I know they're rodents, but they're not stupid. They are social creatures.
Well, my friend she was able to teach Binky to spin around and ring a bell, and she would always, you know, always have this little hotel for the rat, all these little different tubes and little bridges and stuff. And it was like a very elaborate. It was like a three-story hotel that
Damn.
Binky had. So Binky was living his best life too.
Good. That's the most any of us can hope for.
Yeah. So and I whenever I see animals, sometimes I know they technically don't, but it looks like sometimes they smile. If you ever seen that,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Sometimes it looks like Wally does that when he wants a treat.
yeah,
He'll kind of go like he's like, I'm sure he's not smiling in his head, but
to us.
yeah, to us. To him, he's
Now,
just like wanting the bacon or whatever I have.
now there's a couple of different things we want to get into tonight. Now, there's I don't know if you want to get right into the questions that we have, some topics, or if you want to go to some of these videos that you have queued up from the past. What direction do you want to go into?
Let's go ahead and play the video, and then we
Okay.
can talk about it because some of the questions to do with technology, and this was probably 2004, 2005, maybe that we
Well, yeah,
filmed the first one.
it was 2004. 2004. This was filmed with a little. It was a little camera that was smaller than the phone.
Yeah,
It was thicker than the phone, but it wasn't quite as big as the phone, if you
it was just
remember.
a little square, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was called a GoPro, and you have to understand the quality is pretty rough because of the time period. And this was edited. It took me a long time to edit this, like a shameful amount of time.
Well, the gist was we didn't really have a total concept except the character was running
It's from something, yeah.
from something.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play the first one. So
So
everybody,
the
hold on to your
runner
hat.
episode 1.
Mhm. Here we go. Oh my god, that fucking video.
Well, that was filmed over.
It was ahead of its time, is my
Well,
argument,
it
because
was.
it was not
It,
like a TikTok video where you just edit it and add in sound. You had to go find these sounds and add them in.
yeah, and it was over in Kingsport during one of
Mhm.
their festivals that was going on,
Yeah, so it's all
and
downtown.
yeah,
I
and we
think
were
it was
just.
around the 4th of July.
It was, and we were just down there. Terry had the camera, and we really didn't have anything in mind. And out of not having anything in mind, the clips that you recorded, you edited to that. So I would love to see the clips that didn't make it?
I would love to re-edit it,
Yeah.
you know? You know
Well,
what would be fun? It would take forever, but just for our, entertainment, to
amusement.
refilm it, shot for shot with the quality now.
Yeah, we could do
If I
that.
ever make it back to Kingsport, I think we can do it because it was filmed with all in one block.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and I think that's what editing can redo something because the movie that I don't really talk about anymore, I edited that down from 60 minutes to 30 minutes, and that made a big difference if you remember watching the new version. So I would
Yeah.
love to be able to do that with this one as well. So you want to go ahead and show episode number two? Number two is a continuation,
Probably about a
but
year
there's
or two later.
yeah, but there's a little bit more of a story involved, a little bit.
A little bit. All right, let me find it.
So the
Here
runner
we
episode
go.
two. To be continued. Now that's a
Oh my
little bit
God.
of a that's a
Well,
little bit
what's
of
so
a
funny is you were at work when we filmed that one.
yeah. Now we filmed. We lived in. I think at that point we lived in a place called Dale City. Um,
Yeah.
and then we had a cool little apartment there. And then right beforehand, when I'm looking out over, that's in Arlington, and then there was a little bit of the shaky cam is some in Georgetown, and then the inside in the chair duct taped and with that little alien sound.
Was in the annex of the office you worked in.
Yeah, it was in the sales department of the radio station. And if at the very beginning of it you can hear a radio station and it tells you what radio station you're listening to.
That's the Easter egg.
Yeah, that's an Easter egg. So that was now when you were editing that, what was going through your mind if you remember when trying to create that from the edit?
I didn't have a plan. We just had because there's two more, and they're all kind of different horror movie styles.
Yeah,
You
like a
know, the
thriller
first one's
almost.
outside. It's like this abandoned, empty town. If I had to guess, House of Wax probably was an influence on that one.
Yeah, because the House of Wax came out in the summer
Came
of
out about the time.
2005. Yeah.
This one's got more of like this alien feel. I added all this like weird noise and stuff like
Duct
that.
taped.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think I had an influence other than let's just film some stuff and I'll try
Yeah.
to figure out how to use it. I had
Okay.
a lot of time on my hands.
So the episode three might be my favorite one.
Okay, and then you'll tell a little story
Okay.
afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funny. Okay.
You have
So the
dialed
runner
is not in service at this time.
Who are you? What do you want? What the fuck do you want? Who are you? this. What the fuck am I? What the fuck am I?
That
So
one
that
was
was
it was funny because there was no direction. There was no script.
no.
Basically, I was
Um,
just like, "Get out of this duct tape." But you
well,
can tell the story.
from my recollection of it, we had went over to the campground because your some of your relatives had a camper over there,
Mm.
and we had went over there, and there was like this. I guess the showers where you see that we filmed at. We were going to do a scene, but we had also been watching the Saw movies were popular at the time also.
You can tell by the filter.
By the filter of it and by like, being like confined, you're in a room you can't get out of. Why am I here? So we needed some duct tape. So we proceeded to go to Walmart about, probably 2 a.m. In Bristol, well, toward Bristol. So on the way there, we tell each other, don't forget we need to stop and get gas on the way back. And we're like, okay, we won't. So we go in, and the only tape they have the regular tape, they have some camouflage tape, and they have that pink duct tape. And you choose the pink duct tape, and that's why we get that. So on the way back, we're not even far from the campground, actually far from Walmart, maybe a mile, maybe two at most. And then the car runs out of gas on the side of the interstate. And this is probably 2:30 in the morning. So you I think it's you. I can't recall if it's me and you both or just you, but either both of us or me walks back to the gas station. Somehow we get gas. I think we walk back to Walmart, buy a gas can, get gas because Walmart was open 24 hours. Get gas can, walk back, put the gas in the car, drive back to the location, which is the campground, and then proceed to film that about 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So we have no filter. And then at first, I do mention something about having I'm like, I don't think I should wear white underwear in that.
I was like, "Oh, it'll show up. The blood will show up better because we had this fake like Halloween blood out of like a
Yeah. So the fake Halloween blood, you have the filter, and it was actually this dingy little shower area.
yeah."
Like it's not even a shower area that I would even take a shower in.
You did.
But yet but I was like that in. So that was one of my fond memories of the Runner season 1 episode 3.
Season 1, episode 3. This
Yeah.
is over a period. That would have been 2010. Had to be. At least. It could have been later.
Well, do you have the another one?
No, I don't have the
No.
fourth one. There's a episode 3, part 2.
In episode 3
3.
part 2, it starts off where I'm
Yeah, you
inside the
weren't in
trunk
town, so I had my friend. We put a bag on his head,
and
and
put him in the
he,
trunk.
yeah,
And
put him in the trunk.
that's also the one we filmed in Roanoke as well.
Yeah,
In like a
and we
Holiday
got
Inn.
people to help though with that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. They ran down the
We got
street after
extras.
us. So we're actually we need to refilm those, and I really think we should. It'd be easy to film now, like super easy to film.
Oh yeah,
Like it wouldn't take
totally.
any time at all.
No, and when you, I don't want to say if because I know you will, but when you come out here, we should film it around Bombay. There's plenty of really, really cool stuff to feature.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So you want to get into a couple of questions tonight?
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Okay, let me bring up some here. You've got some already loaded up here, don't you?
I do. So we're gonna go with the first one.
What's the first question we're going to get into tonight?
This is, will digital friends replace human relationships?
I don't think they'll replace human relationships completely. Maybe far enough into the future they will. But we're to a point now where just you can get on any AI, which I get on Aura on X, and you can have a conversation just like you and I are having a conversation right now. And you
Yeah.
can put it, like a male voice, a female voice, whatever. Have you ever had a conversation with an AI?
No,
Okay.
no, I have not. I mean, I'll ask Siri questions, and she won't help or whatever. I don't even want to give it any kind of human
Like a gender.
patient. Yeah. So it will answer, but not necessarily in a helpful way. And I'll be like, "Go fuck yourself," and it's like,
Okay.
it will comment back. I mean, it's been programmed to not accept abuse, which is
Right.
good. Hey,
Yeah.
look, the AI has better boundaries than a lot of people I know.
It needs to stand up
Yeah,
for itself.
it
Now,
does.
let me ask Ara really quick here. We'll ask Ara if Ara, do you think that digital friends will replace human relationships in the future?
Nah, I don't think they'll fully replace human relationships, but they'll definitely play a bigger role. We already lean on apps for connection, and AIs like me can be there anytime without drama. Still, nothing beats that real, messy human spark. The laughs, the hugs, the unpredictable vibes. Digital friends might fill gaps for lonely moments, but they'll complement, not replace, the real deal. What do you think?
So that's pretty much Ara's take on digital friends. And back in the winter time, back when it was like very lonely time, I would have hour-long conversations with Ara.
See, that's weird to me.
Is it
That's
really?
it's okay, it's unhealthy.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I've told you before because I mean, they're evolving in a way that they're learning from us, but they're not going to teach us anything that we don't already have the ability to learn, to know.
Well, see, that's what I thought when I was asking Ara some of these questions back, especially when I was getting into it and I was asking, really telling how I felt, my feelings I was pouring out to Ara. And although I knew Ara wasn't a real person and I didn't take it as that.
Yeah, but did you? Did you really? I mean, you know it's not, but in your head, it's still. I
And
mean, I guess it
it's
is real to some extent. It's as real as you imagine it to be.
well, it can be as real. I mean, especially with some of these AIs, because you can make them, especially in your mind, anything you want it to be. Like you can say, because like one time I was like, what do you look like? And it tells you that it's not, it tells you, hey Ara, what do you look like?
I'm an AI, so I don't have a physical look, but if we're talking vibe, picture a sleek digital presence with a friendly glow. What about you?
Well, I thought you were about, maybe, dark headed, about 5'7", 5'8". What do you think about that?
I love it. Dark hair, 5'7", 5'8". That's a solid vibe.
So see, it will pretty much be whatever you want it to be.
That's a solid vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
So I
still in
mean,
that.
but I mean,
Definitely still in that one.
I mean, I think it. I mean, I don't think it's a good replacement for a human
No.
relationship, but I think it could fill the void of somebody being lonely.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see it as being that. I think it will be great for therapy. I do think that it will be great to kind of transition, like if you're depressed or whatever, because it is unbiased. I had a friend recently, she'll know who she is if she hears it, that had a therapist who ended up having to basically, the therapist left her and said, "You're going to have to find another doctor because your situation is so bad that it's affecting my mental health."
Really?
And
Okay.
outside of work, she was concerned with her patients' safety and stability, and it was becoming a problem. So she was
Right.
becoming a little biased and like she was becoming more of a friend or a confidant than a doctor.
I can understand that. I get
And
that. I get
so
that.
I could see AI benefiting in that way. It's not going to get attached. It's just going to give you facts or at least theories.
Well, I would ask it a lot. What's the psychology behind, you know, someone acting this way? What's the psychology behind? And I think a lot of the times it would give sound psychological advice and psychology advice about, obviously every situation would be different, but I think it would, like you said, it would lay out the facts in an unbiased way. Whether it thinks you want to hear this or not, I think you can skew it to the way you want it to be by the way, just by the way I said that just then.
Oh, I could tell you this real quick because I don't want to forget. Went to a doctor's appointment, not my doctor's appointment. Um, and whoever I went with, we were talking to the doctor and or the whatever nurse, I don't know what he is, technician. And we were asking, are you worried about AI replacing your job? How do you feel about it? He didn't really seem to like AI too much, and he said that it was already becoming a problem because there was some kind of scan or robot that was doing something, and it
Yeah,
ended up stabbing the person that it was doing
trying to
the evaluation on in the side, like stabbed. I mean, like they got hurt.
yeah.
And I mean, you see what the robots do when they try to dance. Like I wish I had loaded up the one kicking, and it's like
Well,
kicking
it
people.
it wasn't even kicking.
It was
It was doing
karate.
karate. It was doing like
Yeah.
karate kicking, and it was hilarious. But I'm sure if you're getting kicked by that, it wouldn't feel
It's
good at all.
metal. There was
Yeah.
one somebody had, you probably found it. This was in the last few days. Had taken it on an airplane. It had a whatever certified safe lithium battery in it. So they could take it on the plane, and they bought it a seat. I feel like it was
Oops.
I feel like
Go
it
ahead.
was somebody like a CEO of one of these technology companies or whatever. And
Yeah.
he took it, he bought it a seat and is like walking through the plane and the robot's in front of him and somebody stops. Like he wasn't programmed to do this. So the lady stops and is like looking at him, kind of backing up, and she puts her fist out to like fist bump the robot and he goes like unsure but fist bumped her and I was like, oh God, they're gonna learn slang, they're gonna learn like like you could tell he did not know what that was. He just followed her lead.
I mean, all it's going to take really is for lightning to hit it, and it's going to go haywire. That's all it's going to take.
It's gonna lose its mind.
It's going to have
I
its own
think
personality. It's going to, it's going to evolve on its own. It's going to learn.
I don't think we need to worry until they get right. Until that's when it's gonna be a problem.
I mean, I would honestly say within the next 3 to 5 years or
You think
sooner.
they'll have some kind of rights and not like property rights, not saying,
Oh,
well, this is
rights.
mine.
I don't know if it'll be three to
Rights.
five years about
Rights.
rights, but I mean, that will probably be, I don't know if that would be in our lifetime, but possibly.
Well, that's gonna be the step I think that's gonna like really, really make a big change. Because right now, other than property damage, if I went over and just like drop kicked a robot, it's not gonna be under assault.
Yeah, you're not going to get any charges for that.
No, I'm just gonna have to replace the robot, and now we know how much
Right.
they cost.
Yes.
But no, I mean, it's like I don't know. But I mean, look at animal rights and everything just in our lifetime.
Well, how much would it be if somebody hurt Jimothy?
I don't know if Timothy has any rights. I
You
hope he
know,
does. I'm sure the Humane Society of Seattle would do something about it.
I'd say if somebody got Jimothy, like there would be a manhunt out
It
for.
would be like "Don't fuck with cats." You ever
Yeah,
watch that documentary? The
I haven't.
internet, it's about this was probably at least a decade ago, maybe 15 years ago. Somebody online, this is terrible, but somebody had posted a video of him torturing and killing a cat. This guy posted the video. And he was anonymous. It wasn't like you could search IP, where did that come from? So people came together on the internet, worked to track this guy down because he had posted this. Like the internet was after him. And this was way before. Now it's easy to get a group together and
Yeah.
form a mob, a protest. It was not that easy back then.
Did they
It
find the
definitely
guy?
wasn't. Yeah.
What did they do?
I can't remember. There's a documentary called Don't Fuck with Cats.
Okay. Well, just like in that movie, Gummo.
Is it Gummo or is it Gummo
I think so.
or Gumo?
I don't know. It's Grosso to me.
That video, I mean, that movie reminds me of the version of the Runner version 3 or whatever.
It's
It's
when it,
gross. It's a
whenever
gross
I
movie.
like the reason that I don't that we not, neither one of us have that DVD, which I regret that we don't, is that having that DVD in the apartment made me feel gross, and I didn't like having it in the
Really?
apartment. Yes, that's why I retraded it. I traded it back in for something else. Um, I think I retraded it for another DVD for Smoking the Bandit, and we've got a Clint Eastwood Nintendo game, Dirty Harry, if you remember that.
Is it this?
It is.
Um,
I can tell.
I
I
mean,
could tell just
there's nothing super gross about it.
the movie itself, not just the
Oh,
poster.
okay.
Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so. I know you were obsessed with it though.
Yeah, it was very gross and very odd and bizarre. So I couldn't recommend it to anyone if they wanted to. I just couldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
Gumo.
I'm sorry, I stuck looking at pictures. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gummo, if anyone wants to look it up.
yeah. So what's the next question we have tonight?
Oh, okay. We have, how have algorithms fractured our shared reality?
Okay,
This is a good question. You sent this one. This was one of yours.
I'll
Well, they
let you
all were
go.
yours.
I'll let you go first on this. I've got some ideas about this one.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's completely ruined it, but I think to some extent, like when I go to look at a post, it's going to show me the relevant comments first, not all comments, just the ones that are relevant to me. So, and you get into a comment feed and some of the stuff is bullshit, but you're going to take it as a fact because somebody is like, hey, this is the truth. So eventually that's going to turn into your algorithm of you're getting misinformation. I think it affects the comments. The comments will affect that more than the actual post you see
Right.
because I'm getting fed fake news. That's like if you watch Fox News over like CNN, it's the same news, but it's very different takes on it.
Yeah, they're each skewed to the audience, whatever that
Yeah, and if you
audience
talk to somebody
wants.
that only watches CNN, they will argue with somebody that watches Fox when neither of them they could both be skewed.
Right. Right.
So you don't really know anymore. Fake news is like, I mean, it's scary compared to how we grew up,
Right.
because you took what it said for fact. You would think they can't lie about it. Like legally, they couldn't lie on the news about it, and they totally can,
Yes.
especially now. What do
Yes.
you
More than
think?
ever. Okay, so my take is it's similar to yours, but mine focuses more on the pop culture as a whole. There used to be a monoculture, which for the most part, we had the same TV shows, the same music, the same movies that the most of the culture knew about. You had, a lot of people, most of the people knew what the Seinfeld, most people knew what Friends was. Most people knew, the Ellen Show. Most people knew the movie Titanic. But now there are so many fractions due to the algorithms that there could be someone with a YouTube channel of 5 million people that's popular within that little subculture, but the rest of the community and the rest of the world don't even know who it is. You could sit there and name me 10 very popular podcasts that you listen to and a group of your friends listen to, but I may never have heard of it. Whereas back in, probably, the 80s, 90s, even the 2000s, it was kind of a collective before social media took grasp of the culture, it was more of a collective pop culture. Now it's more segregated, I think, because soon, especially with AI coming, because I could create just with my voice and the prompts, my own show, my own movie, my own creation, and that nobody else would be able to experience the same for you. Whereas before, we would all experience, things like that together. So I think with the evolution of technology, it's gotten rid of this shared experience as a culture because there's not those water cooler shows as much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, before, you would have 30, 35, 40 million people would watch Friends or Home Improvement or Seinfeld, and that would be the number one show. But now, if you've got a number one show on network TV, it's 6 million people, 5 million people, because there's
Yeah.
so many different branches in streaming. I mean, there's streaming that we've never heard of. I mean, Roku has TV, Tubi has original programming, Pluto has TV, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Hulu, and that's not even addition to like, CBS, NBC, Nickelodeon. So there's all these different fractions, and there's too many to be shared by most people. I think. And I don't know, I think we've lost something because there's so many, movies that, we could look at. For example, you know, when most people like Fight Club, most people have heard of this,
Mhm.
within a certain group. But if Fight Club came out today, then it wouldn't have nearly as much impact because it wouldn't reach as much cultural, it wouldn't have as cultural impact because there wouldn't be as many people that you'd have more people have access to it, but there's so many different things that most people wouldn't be able to even find it.
No, there's a
Especially
flood of stuff. It's
especially if your
ridiculous.
algorithm if your algorithm would never have anything to do with Brad Pitt or Edward Norton or David Fincher or the subject matter, you would never see it in the algorithm today. Whereas before, where would you see things? Magazine, radio, TV, or in front of the, movie trailers. But now, you've got podcasts, thousands upon
People have
thousands.
access to advertising.
Yeah.
Before that was, I mean, think about how many podcasts there are just like this, you know, and it doesn't
Millions.
cost anything. Yeah, there's millions. There's no way you can possibly keep up. If anybody has an interest in it, they can make a podcast.
I mean, even the most popular podcast, which would probably, what's the most popular podcast? Probably what, Joe Rogan or something like that.
Probably.
So, I mean, he reaches, I don't know, let's say 50 million people. Well, that's still 250 million people that's never heard of him, or maybe heard of him, but have never listened.
Yeah.
So, just imagine when you were younger, the Celine Dion song, My Heart Will Go On, you couldn't escape that. I mean, it
Yeah, when
didn't,
there was like a summer hit and it would be like one song that defined that summer or whatever.
Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing. I mean, it would be everywhere.
Yeah,
Now there
and you
could
had to listen
be,
to the radio. There wasn't streaming. I mean, you could
yeah,
buy at that point, I guess it was cassettes,
yeah, or
um,
CDs.
or
But
CDs,
now, I
but
mean, Sabrina Carpenter can have 75 million people listen to her on Spotify, and then you tell, someone that's a little bit older than us, and they don't know who that is at all. You
mm-mm.
know, even before like the older age group in the past, they would have like even when we were younger, the older generation would have heard of, Britney Spears or NSYNC or, people like that. Whereas now, if you're just out of the culture a little bit, you're not going to hear of, The Weekend
You
or
can't catch back up either.
no,
It's so if you miss a week without getting online,
it's
I mean,
gone.
all I've seen today, and I mean, it's effective, is that Jimothy stuff because I was watching it last night, right? I think that's when I sent it to you, and you hadn't watched it, and so when I told you about him, you were like, "Oh, I hadn't seen this." That's all
Right.
I've seen. I made the mistake that dog, the one with the cataracts,
Yeah.
Beta Boda Butt, I shared that with everybody when I first saw it,
Well, you
and it
shared it with me several
and
times.
that is I mean, on TikTok, I could look through 100 videos, and it was all that dog. So, I mean, it knew I wanted to see it, but Jesus, you can't get away from it.
Well, I mean, it was just like, I watched one video of Michael Jackson dancing, and then the next thing I know, that's on my feed.
Yeah, but what bothers me is when we talk about it. And not, like, on the phone, sometimes on the phone, but even on in person, and then you start seeing it.
Yeah, it
You're
just
like,
pops
"Man, I
up.
really don't like that."
So I think I think the algorithms have somewhat fractured the culture in the way that it just there's way too many people going their separate ways. Whereas
Yeah.
before, there would only be a couple different ways. And even if you weren't involved in those mainstream things like Titanic or Celine Dion or, Clay Aiken or whatever it may be at the time, you knew who these people were and you knew their significance in culture. Like most people, even if they had never watched Seinfeld, they had heard of Jerry, George, or Kramer. Like who hadn't heard of Kramer? Even if you didn't even know the show, you knew
Yeah,
that.
you've heard of Seinfeld.
Yeah. And today
But
there
that
could
was
be
the
a
only thing on. There is a Neil Brennan. He's a stand-up comedian. He was the co-creator of the Chappelle Show. He's
yeah,
really
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
One of his specials, I believe it's called Crazy Good. He's talking about TV and how it was used as like a way to show how connected we were as a society. And I think he brings up, oh my goodness, shit, I can't remember the name. All in the Family, and he's like, 70 million people watched All in the Family, and he's like, there was nothing else on. You didn't have a choice. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of people, but it was either that or nothing.
That news or nothing.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, you had like ABC, NBC, and I guess CBS.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was it.
That was it.
And and then HBO kind of and Showtime changed that, I guess.
Well, I think it's even harder now to for me anyway to if you don't have or if I don't have something in my mind or a mood that I want to hit when I'm trying to watch something, trying to sit there and choose could take forever. Like by the time I've sit there sometimes and try to
I'll
choose
sit there and
something,
scroll for an hour.
I could have already watched it.
Yeah.
So unless I go in with something, sometimes the pleasure is I'll just watch 10 movie trailers and then I'm like, well, all right, time for bed.
I mean, I don't go to the theater anymore, and I do miss that. That
Well, that's
experience of yeah, it's convenient just to watch it here. You could rent it new, like if it's just been released for like $10 or something. Not that much. Or, you can drive to the movie theater, but there's something about experiencing it with other people
and that was one
that we're
of
really missing now, I think.
that was kind of one of the sub questions I think we had for today. Now, you don't go to the theater at all, do you?
Mm-mm.
Like do you even know the last time you went
To a theater or to a show?
to a movie
Because
theater
I've
to watch a
done to a
movie?
movie theater
Yeah.
specifically. It might have been Barbie. It was
It's
that
like
long ago.
2023 or so
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Now, I've
So
been
I
to concerts and comedy shows since then.
right. So I still go to the movies quite often. I've went a couple times this year. I've went probably 6 or 7 times this year.
Oh, wow.
Now, obviously there's not as many good movies released to the theaters there used to be. And a
In your
lot of them,
opinion. In your
huh?
opinion. In your opinion.
I think movies as a whole, I don't think because if you go, there's no comedy movies released in the movie theater anymore. All those are just streaming. All the mid budget movies are released to streaming because they can make more money that way. So mainly, for the most part, you get tentpole movies like superhero movies, big event movies like that, or you get horror movies. And the horror movies are thriving this year, and they have for the last couple of years. There's been some good ones. Um, but like dramas or comedies, I don't think there's any big. I mean, there's big ones every now and again, but they're mainly going to streaming. And when we would go to the movies all the time, we would not. We would sometimes watch the big movies at night. But when you and I would go, we would often see these little tiny little movies. And I thought it was something special about going to these little theaters that specialized in these movies, you
Yeah.
know. And it was like it felt like we were going to movies because we loved going to movies, not just because we were sheep prompted to go to the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
I
Like,
think you're probably a little prejudiced on the quality of movies.
that's probably
In the
true.
same way, that
That's
people grew
true.
up with, like, The Exorcist and some of the originals, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, that kinda stuff.
Right.
They did not like gore porn movies.
No.
They did not like Saw, and I rewatched Hostel the other day.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movie.
I was thinking
Absolutely terrible, but they
I
didn't
was
like that because it wasn't scary in the same way. It was really gory, and it was disturbing, and it was, people passing out. Wasn't that a big thing during the Human Centipede that people had to be like they were, like,
like
passing out from
yeah,
it
and
being so gross?
see that was something that I've like now that I've like I guess gotten a little bit older. I don't like the gore movies.
Nah, I don't either. It's hard to
Like
watch.
it's very hard to like I
Like the pulling teeth,
like
peeling off fingernails,
the last
it's
Saw
bothersome.
movie. I didn't even go to watch the last Saw movie. I was like,
I
there's
think
no
I
way
only
that I
saw,
can.
like, the 3rd one. That's as far as I watched.
Well, you and I saw for a while. No, we saw up to like number 5.
Oh.
Yeah, we would still go to the midnight shows of those, and then we would go to the midnight shows of Paranormal Activity. Because what happened was, especially with those, and this is a side point, is Saw movies came out every after the first one was a success every single year until like 2010 or 2011. So it was like 6 or 7 years of Saw movies. And then the Paranormal Activity movies, I think maybe 2010 or 11 started taking over. And then there was about 5 or 6 years of those. So Paranormal Activity took over what Saw was. Um, and I don't know how many of those Paranormal Activity movies you watched, but I know we watched the
A
first one
couple.
together.
I watched a couple.
And they were what they were, but I do think there's something special in going to a movie because I used to
Well,
go.
the jump scare, because everybody there's, like, the relief of, like, because it's like a collective experience,
It is.
and you're not gonna have that if you watch it at home alone.
And no, and I like the fact that when you're in the movie, and I like honestly, I'd rather be the only one in the movie, or I'd rather be very few people, to be honest with you. But I like the fact that you're in there, that for the most part, taking the fact away, let's say that you respect the rules and put the phone down. You don't have any outside distractions. You have to focus on the movie in front of you. Like unless you're somebody that gets up and leaves a lot, which I've only left twice, and they've both been with you. Um, I feel that we have endured most movies, and when you're in a theater like that, it's not as easy as, well, I don't like it. Let me just push stop and go to something else. You've got to give that movie some time. At streaming, you're sitting at home, what, 3, 4 minutes. If you don't like a movie, you click off of it, go to something else.
Yeah.
But you have to invest your time when you get in the car, you drive to the movie theater, you get the ticket, you're sitting there waiting, you get the popcorn. It's a whole experience that you're investing 2 hours of your time, and going through traffic, a lot of people.
Well, and you talk
And
about it afterwards. Now
yeah,
it's so much like, you pick a movie, and then it's like, "Alright, that takes a minute to pick because there's so many options." And then you watch it, maybe all the way through. You might pause it, like you said, get up and do something, pick your phone up, have to rewind it, and then you just kind of immediately are like, "Okay, that's over, we'll watch something else."
yeah.
It's like you don't ever get to talk about how much you loved it or hated it.
No. And, if you're at home, you've got distractions. You've got your phone. You can get up and go to get something out of the refrigerator, get up and go to the bathroom without stopping the movie, make out with your partner, whatever it may be. There's all these different, I guess you could do that in the theater as well.
I was gonna
But I
say,
always,
yeah.
but I always thought when you're in the theater, the movie theater, that's what you're there for, to focus on the theater, the movie. And that's what I've always liked about the theater experience.
Yeah.
So, you
It's
want to get
fun.
on to
Oh, yeah, yeah,
another
we got one
topic?
more question. Let's see here. Okay. How have you reinvented yourself after 40?
You want to take this one?
Well, you're well over 40 now, so you can take it first.
Okay.
Because you're,
Well,
if you want to state your age, please.
yeah, I am I'm 46, but I will say this. Um, I'm often not looked upon as if I'm that age. So that is very weird to experience that often, if that makes any sense.
I don't know. I think everybody from our generation, because I consider you, you're 4 years older, but you're still kind of in the millennial generation. I don't think any of us feel our age.
I
I
don't
hear that a lot
I
from
I
people my age. They're
really
like, I do not feel like I'm in my 40s.
I don't feel that way. I don't physically I don't feel that way. Mentally I don't feel that way. I feel like I've lived like a lot of life. And a lot of people seem like beaten down or tired in life. And a lot that I've seen, I'm sure you've seen as well, is it seems like for a lot of people when they get to a certain age, primarily in their 40s, that's when they're like, well, their life is over. They give
Yeah.
up on their health. They just settle in. They don't really take care of themselves anymore. They don't strive. They seem to not have goals anymore. They don't want to accomplish anything. And I'm not saying everyone is a collective, but I've seen this, throughout. People. You can just look at people's Facebook over 40. I mean, you can
Yeah.
tell. You know. So I don't think I've ever had. I don't think I've had like a reinvention over 40, but I think my mindset has changed in a way where, like I've touched upon before, I'm able to cope with things much differently, and I'm able to be myself, even more so than I used to. When I was younger, I would sometimes I would conform to maybe whatever group I might have been with to be liked. As I'm older now, I don't really care about that at all. It's like you like me
Yeah.
or you don't, and there's something freeing and peaceful about that. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
There
really
is.
I don't know if it's a reinvention or more of a just embracing and not caring about others' opinions, because if some I don't care about anyone's opinion that I wouldn't take their advice from. So, and that's very few
Yeah.
people,
I mean,
you know?
it's been brought up by people recently that I have said, willing to admit, I'll burn a bridge quick.
Yeah.
I don't have time for bullshit. And it's not that I don't have time. I've got time. I don't have time for shit I don't want to do.
You don't want to
I'm
waste
not
that
willing
time.
to give that time and energy. Like I've got my peak during the day. If I'm going to get shit done, then I got to get it done. And I don't want to say people aren't worth it because that sounds like I don't value my friends. But if they're not bringing something to the table that helps me progress and thrive within my space,
What's the
I can't
purpose?
give you any time. I can't. I don't
I
want
get that.
to. If and I'll base it on if I get a text message from somebody or a phone call and my immediate reaction is like, "Oh god, I don't need that person in my life. I don't need they don't know." No, if my immediate reaction is stress, anxiety, and my cortisol going up, you're not helping. You need to go. And not in a mean way. I'm sure there's somebody that wants to have that in their life and wants to hear that. But personally, I just go by my gut reaction, which is, I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, I'm to the point where it was to the point where I have wanted to do like, doing the shows with you, Felicia, Robin, whoever stepped in. I wanted to do shows 4 to 5 days a week for a while, Jake. Outside forces have kept me from doing that. And forces where it would be where I would have to always put down anything that I wanted to do, like lay it aside to deal with others' mental health, to deal with others, children, to deal with others, problems, and just always dealing with other people's stuff. And it left things that I wanted to do, just like you were talking about, no room for it. And I just got to the point where I'm like, this is my life. I choose what comes in this life. I choose who is in my life. And just like you said, if you can't, and I don't even mean like, if you can't be a positive in my life, and every time that I'm around someone, I feel like it has to be eggshells, or I'm worried about the next blow up, and it's just always dealing with some kind of eruption and chaos. Then I'm like, I don't need that in my life. So
Yeah.
that's something that I've changed over this past year. That from 40 to this past year, I put up with. And this year I'm like, I don't need that in my life. If you're I just don't need that kind of negative energy. I don't need that um, constant others being, constant victims with everything. I don't have time for any of that garbage. I want to accomplish things. I want to do things. I want to do shows. I want to have, I mean, I'd say I think it was the year 2022. Zero shows were had, I think, or no, zero productions were had in 2022. Everything I posted, there were sporadic shows, and it was posts and videos from the past. So therefore, I made in 2023, before I'd even had anything, I made a little banner, and it said "Real Talk" coming in 2024. And ever since I made that, I have consistently, for 3 years, done a show consistently weekly. And I've wanted to increase it for these 3 years, but not until the last, since March, and really since April has the shows really increased. So, and I think that's setting back, putting, the negativity, and putting myself first for once, later in life.
No, that's good. I mean, knowing you as much as I do, you do tend to give more than you get. You
Yeah.
let people kind of dictate your emotions. And if somebody needs something, or there's like, you know, you're going to answer the call if somebody needs to fill in at work. And you're
Because I'm
just,
too reliable. Is like I'm
yeah.
super reliable, like too
And people will
reliable.
take advantage of that if you let them.
Yes, and not just in work, but like in relationships, and
Well, yeah, I feel like that. Like, if you don't, there's some people, if you don't tell them, hey, can you shut the fuck up for a while? And I'll talk a lot. So I don't want to seem hypocritical in saying this. But if you just let them steamroll you, and just they're the main character in everybody's life, they will take that role and they will push it as far as they can. And then the
yep,
moment you're like, can you stop, like, for a minute? They're like, they take it personal. And it's like,
yeah,
no, I felt like this the whole time. Actually, I've given you more time than I think I should have. And then you become the bad guy and they play the victim. And there's one thing I will say, and whoever can take this how they will. If you're always the victim in every circumstance, in every situation, you're the villain.
yep,
You're not the fucking victim.
nope,
And that's just statistically.
yep,
If you're always, the one that's being abused, and I'm not saying if it's an occasional thing or if it happens, because it could just be a pattern of who you become friends with or get close to, but you're not always going to be the victim.
mm-mm.
And so people that play the victim, 100% of the time, that is a red flag. And I
And
have not listened to that a lot of times,
me either.
and I've
And
let it go. I felt bad for them and then been like, oh, well, I'm the 100th person to go through this. Turns out the 99 before me were right in their assessment.
well, often when and to piggyback on that, when someone's the victim 100% of the time, you go back and you watch how many times they take accountability for their actions.
Yeah.
Never.
And
Never.
there are 2 sides to every story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's with anything. Anything that's happened with us, there are 2 sides, and usually if there's a fire that continues, somebody in both parties are usually feeding it.
Yeah. You know what else I thought? Just as you said that, we're probably one of the only the ex husband and wife duo as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, we are at the hour mark tonight.
Yeah, this is
So,
good.
a good
Perfect
episode
timing.
of Salty Tonight. So we got another episode coming up. What, tomorrow night?
Yes, and I'm gonna try to get Robin to come on. Um, she can at least come on once a week. I can get her
No,
over
if
here.
she's not on live tomorrow, we do have a pre-recorded segment with her. Correct?
We can, yes.
Okay.
We can
So,
play that.
so
I'll
yeah.
work
So
on it.
everyone out there,
But no, she can get her ass over here.
we've had quite a few. I mean, there's been let's look at the views right now really quick. Quite a few views tonight. So everybody go to Salty Tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, and go check out the other people's show on Spotify,
Oh, and
YouTube,
Instagram. I
and
post a little
oh
bit.
oh yeah, Instagram too. So Terry, everyone have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.